And I think being the re-education camp exactly is 5 years. Then after that, in New England province, another 5 years. But lots of people asked me recently, say, did you know anybody escape or wanted to escape from the camp to another country?
Mm-hmm.
So I asked around my friend, because maybe I'm not informed, not to know everything, right? And then I only know one person. Actually happened to be is my neighbor, not in the same apartment complex, but the house they live in behind this complex. And the reason I know, I never met the guy. I didn't know he also went same train, ride the same train, and we go to the same camp. And until later, I go back to Shanghai, and my mother told me what's happened to that guy. You know, I think last couple of months ago, I think I told you guys about during this fame after the Great Leap. So the entire China, people were starving, millions of people starving to death. So my mother had to pawn her wedding ring to get 2 boxes of chocolate sent from my aunt from Hong Kong. And so she know that somehow she get familiar with my neighbor, and the guy was own a pawn shop. So just, but she liked to take me to visiting her friend and the families, whatever, but never took me to the pawn shop because she felt it's so disgraced. You know, you had to pawn your precious things, not just the value of the things, just some great memories from your grandparents or whatever. And so she never took me there. I think I was, one time I played with her jewelry box, found a little ruby cross I like very much. But my mother said, well, when you grow up, I'll give it to you. But now you're going to get lost or something like that. But then eventually I found out that that's gone. So gradually her jewelry box, everything just go to the pawn shop. You know, I know it's got that place. And of course, Cultural Revolution happened. They took everything. So it doesn't matter what you have, right? So I'm talking about the owner of the pawn shop. He has a son, same as my age. We didn't go to the same high school, but somehow end up went to the same train to that camp.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's
the re-education camp.
Re-education camp, yeah. And then 1979, I think I was escaped from Yunnan and stay in Shanghai was a fugitive, right? So my mother told me, she said, did you know that's happened to that boy, the pawn shop's owner's boy? I said, no, I didn't know that. He said, I'll tell you something. And this guy, because he owned a pawn shop, so people got those valuable things like a Rolex. So somehow the red guy and go there and he hide the Rolex, so it didn't go. They didn't took it. So the boy leaving, and he give a boy, said that this maybe is your insurance, your life insurance. So whatever happened to you, you can sell the Rolex. He said everybody knows, even in those presents, maybe they near Burma, so somebody will buy and give you some money, right? So you can come home. My father only have a 10 yuan because they took everything out. So when they left Shanghai, and he didn't see me away from the train station, but they just handed me that 10 yuan. He was crying so high. He said that's only 1/4 of the ticket, the price you can buy the ticket. So he said that I maybe never see you again, because if something happened to me, what I can help you get back. Right. So I know it's very sad. And this guy, he got this Rolex. So somehow the story is they have those coyote, people can help you get out of China. Because our village is very close to Burma, just cross the mountain, but very high mountain looks like an old man's face. So we call the old man's head. Yeah. That's the mountain, the name. So sometimes, you ever think about escape? Yes. But I just think I wish I'm a bird. I can fly over there. But I look at this mountain, once I get on the top of that, you cross, you go down, it is Burma. But what I'm going to do over there, I don't speak the language. And then you don't know, I know Burma is not like Hong Kong or Taiwan. They all still Chinese, free world. At least people will help you. You don't know. They were kind of primitive too, So, but I heard somebody told me, say that lots of people in near another side of a border, and they join the Burma and Communist Party guerrilla, just fighting. So lots of the kids that join, they think that's a way they maybe can become a general. But what happened? Most of people just first battle they die. So I was curious about that because I think, well, we stay here, we cannot do anything, freedom, maybe that's the only way, And you can, so one time I was hitchhike to another village, and then the people, they live there, they say they from near that border, they say that we can hitchhike there to look at how the battles. So I was interested. I said, okay, I'll go. So I go to get there and sitting on the hill and look at. So basically they supported by Chinese Liberation Army. So the Chinese provide the place, if anything, they can retreat to China. So they can cross the border, so being saved. And the first battle was lots of people, bunch of people. It's not the army and trained or anything, just a bunch of kids. And then they all get killed. So I said, I'm not going to do that. So I'm a stupid, young and stupid, but not that stupid. So I said, oh, forget about it, I don't want to go. But this boy, somehow, they have a relative in Hong Kong. And then because you can't write to people in Hong Kong, nothing. You cannot just basically cross everything, right? So how do you can get people in Burma or Yangon to meet you there and then take you to Hong Kong or Taiwan, whatever, right? And or other country. But it's really difficult. But this boy, I don't know, because he think maybe people, he have a Rolex. So he's kind of young, naive. He think the father said that gold Rolex costs lots of money, So he talked to the one of the coyote, said, oh, I'm going to take you there. And then you cross the border, and then somebody will be there and take you to Yangon. So once you got a Yangon, I will give you some money too. You can go to Hong Kong. So you can find your relative, whatever, So he just wanted to follow that. But what's happening is a couple of weeks later, so he was missing. So, people can find him. And then finally, and somebody said they found a body. And that was half of eaten by the wild animals. So that's him.
Wow.
So must be somebody, took the Rolex and killed him, just throw him in the wild.
Yeah.
So that's...
Wow.
Yeah. Very...
Wow.
That's one escapee.